Hurry up, he told the troublesome trucks. What for? What for? They snapped. For Edward, puffed Thomas, and he biffed them crossly. Edward waited sadly by his train. He hoped Thomas would come back soon. When Thomas finished all his jobs, he puffed back to collect Edward's train. Edward was very pleased to see him. Don't worry, Edward, puffed Thomas. I'll have your job done in no time. You go back to Tidmouth and I'll meet you there later. Thank you, Thomas, wheezed Edward. And Thomas pulled away with a long line of freight cars. Thomas was tired. He had been working all day, and Edward's train was very heavy. But he was determined not to let Edward down. Sir Topham Hatt was talking to Gordon as Thomas puffed in. Thomas, this train is late, he said crossly. And why are you pulling it? Where is Edward? Thomas didn't want to get Edward into trouble. He had to think of an excuse. Edward took on the wrong sort of coal, sir. The wrong sort of coal? Boomed Sir Topham Hatt. What nonsense, Thomas! I'll find out what Edward has to say about this later. Sir Topham Hatt was very cross. He gave Thomas another job to do. Yes, sir, said Thomas. Gordon steamed through the countryside. And then he found Edward having a rest. What's all this about the wrong sort of coal? Huffed Gordon. Edward looked puzzled. The wrong sort of coal? Gordon told Edward all about Thomas and Sir Topham Hatt. Edward felt very bad. He wanted to put things right. He decided he must go and see Sir Topham Hatt straight away. Edward hissed and wheezed his way to the station. His fire felt feeble. His wheels felt weak, but he battled on. At last, Edward puffed into the station. He found Sir Topham Hatt. It's all my fault, sir, he said sadly. I asked Thomas not to tell you I couldn't work. I was afraid of going for scrap. I'm very sorry. I should have talked to you this morning. You should always tell me if you have a problem, said Sir Topham Hatt. You are a loyal, hard-working, and really useful engine. I will send you to the fitter's yard straight away. You'll soon be as good as new. Edward was very relieved, and Thomas was very tired from his extra work, but they both agreed, even when it's hard, it's always best to tell the truth. Here are some dots. There are lots of engines on the Sodor Railway. If we join these dots, it will make the shape of one of them. Can you guess which engine it is? Off we go. There's the funnel. It's a tall one. And the dome? It's a large dome, isn't it? There's the cab. And the coal tender. Do you know which engine this is yet? Here are the wheels. And there are the buffers. It looks like a little engine, but it's an important one. That's right, it's Thomas. Hello, Thomas.